Mr. President, the House yesterday passed a bill that included an effort to move forward on the Keystone XL Pipeline project, and I want to talk about that project for a while today and American energy generally. We all agree that private sector job creation needs to be the #1 priority in Washington, and one of the best ways to jumpstart job creation is simply through good energy projects. The shortest path to more American jobs is more American energy. Unfortunately, the president and the administration have delayed one of the largest domestic shovel-ready projects until after the election next year. This is a project that's ready to go. The states where this project would go through have cleared the way for the project. There's no government money involved. This just takes a government okay saying, yes, it's all right to create these jobs. And these jobs not only have the short-term impact of creating the jobs that are created to build a pipeline, but the long-term impact of all the economic activity that occurs because of this new North American energy that we'd have access to. In delaying this program, the president is simply stalling the creation of thousands of jobs and postponing not only the growth in our economy, but also a move toward more energy security. Not too many years ago, I don't think you could say with a straight face that we really need to do everything we can to create something that closely resembles energy independence. And we are in a situation now with North American energy where we could do that. The numbers on the Keystone XL project speak for themselves. This project would create 20,000 direct jobs during the construction phase. 20,000 jobs. That's why the labor union movement in the country supports these projects. 20,000 jobs to build the pipeline. It would generate $20.9 billion in new private sector spending. It would generate around $5 billion in new state, local, and federal revenue when this project is being built and when this project is completed. Nationwide, the project would benefit 1,400 American job creators. The Keystone XL project would also help reinforce Americans' energy security by reducing our dependence on other parts of the world. You know, Canada, our largest trading partner, it's a miracle relationship. This large border that we don't worry very much about, all of the back and forth economic activity that occurs. In fact, for every dollar we'd send to Canada for that energy, they'd send 91 cents back. So this is a dollar we're spending to get 91 cents back and to be more of an energy partner with our closest neighbor, rather with the biggest border. We have clearly a bigger border with Canada than we do with Mexico. To be an energy partner with our closest neighbor rather than to worry about energy in places where, frankly, they don't like us very well. And if they do like us, they don't get the money back to us in the same way. In fact, by comparison of the 91 cents we'd get back for every dollar we'd send to Canada for North American energy coming out of Canada, we get 49 cents back from Saudi Arabia. Now, that doesn't mean Saudi Arabia is a bad trading partner. It just means they're not as good a trading partner as the Canadians are. We get 33 cents back from Venezuela. So why would we want to send a dollar to Venezuela or a dollar to Saudi Arabia for energy if we could send a dollar to Canada and that dollar almost all comes right back to us? Domestically, this project would help encourage more oil production in the Bakken Formation in the Upper Great Plains. The Bakken Formation, which I sure didn't know about 15 years ago, and I don't know that anybody did, is thought to be the greatest new energy development since Prudhoe Bay in the 1960s. I read somewhere the other day that North Dakota, I think, has become the 4th or 5th energy producing state in the country, passing Oklahoma. This is a great resource right at the incoming border of where this new pipeline and all this energy activity would be. Regardless of the White House decision to delay this project, the Canadian oil sands will be developed. And it's not a question of whether there's going to be a market or not, it's who gets the market. You know, the Canadians have said, as they should, if we don't build a pipeline through the United States to the refineries in the southern part of the United States, we're going to build that same pipeline in another direction. Most likely the pipeline will go to the Pacific coast, and then the energy goes to Asia. Now, why would we want energy going to Asia from a trading partner where we get 91 cents back rather than energy coming here? Why would we want to buy more energy from the Middle East and less energy than we could buy from our neighbor? Why would we think for a minute that the security of the country, the energy security of the country, would be better served in any other way than this one? So this is going to most likely go to Asia. If it doesn't go to Asia, I guess it would go to the Atlantic coast and go to Europe. But what everybody believes is if it doesn't come here, they just turn the pipeline to the west instead of the south. And those oil sands, that great energy resource, goes somewhere else rather than where it makes more sense for us to get it, or more sense for them to send it. This is as close to an energy no-brainer as I can think of, but the majority leader says this project is dead on arrival in the Senate. And I don't believe he meant just dead on arrival if it was part of a package that extended the payroll tax. I think that quote was it's dead on arrival, that it's not going to go anywhere in the coming year at a time when we need those jobs, and eventually we all know as quickly as we could get it, we need to be more dependent on North American energy and less dependent on energy everywhere else. There have been many reports that say, well, the administration's timing here is in consideration for the re-election effort. This appears to be about one American job instead of more American jobs. And we need to be concerned, Mr. President, about more American jobs. Some reports have noted that the president's advisors, and this is a quote, fear that a decision in favor of the project would dampen enthusiasm among volunteers needed for door-to-door campaigning in battleground states. I thought that bus went to battleground states. That should be enough to get to the battleground states. We shouldn't have to worry about not having these volunteers because we're not built, we choose to do what makes sense for us in an energy situation. Others have noted that, quote, the president decided to punt on this project, quote, in order to placate parts of the coalition that elected him in 2008. Americans are looking for jobs, not more of the same from Washington. This isn't time for politics. We need to jumpstart the private sector economy. And again, I'll say the quickest road to more American jobs is more American energy. For the better part of 60 years, we have used more energy than we could produce. The marketplace is there. The consumer is there. The user is there. This is what capitalism is all about. It's what free enterprise is all about. Figure out how to connect the product with the consumer. So we know the consumer's there. Let's do what we can to connect that consumer with the energy needs that they have. According to a Gallup poll, the sharp decline in the workforce last night may have more of a reflection on the large number of Americans deciding to give up looking for work. Let's do things that energize the economy and energize the American workforce. I'm glad to be a sponsor of the North American Energy Security Act. The House, again, pursued this week a similar policy as part of their effort to vote on a payroll tax extension, with this as an effort to create new jobs. You know, whether it's the Keystone Pipeline or the utility MAC rule that slows down people's decisions to make a job-creating decision, or other EPA rules and potential rules that make people think twice and three times and eventually enough times you don't do it about job creation, or what we need to do to get to the oil and gas shale reserves of the country, or oil in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's do what's necessary for North America. Let's make North American energy work for America. And I don't know a better way to do that at less government cost or less government involvement than the Keystone Pipeline. And, Mr. President, I'd yield the floor and question the presence of a quorum.